Sorry about that. So the witch sent out some letters in some little paper sailboats. Some flew as airplanes. Some floated as boats. You were told to find some quarters here on this abandoned city. All the buildings, sans the windows, seem to be intact. So it's not hard to find a fairly nice, comfortable building, which you have all done. And you approach the fourth day, the fourth evening, as in the center of this square, where most of the sailors have made their temporary dwellings on this island as well. They've cleared out some of the stuff in the center, some of the debris and benches, and have sort of a mess hall, like a food kind of like cafeteria, outdoor wise. And as people are getting their food, you notice that people are beginning to pack up and move things out of the way. You hear a clamoring and a commotion.
Can we go check?
Yeah, absolutely. You walk out and you see all of the tents that are out that were part of the mess hall, and the pots and the pans, and everything looks like they're being like cleared off and moved to the side.
Do we see a reason for all of this?
Yeah, you look out. You begin to look out, and one of the sailors sees you kind of looking kind of befuddled or confused, and kind of just points off in the direction of the docks, and you can see several new masts in the distance approaching the ramshackle docks.
Here they come.
Anyone who has history can roll a history check.
I do not.
I'd say you can still roll history, because you might recognize one or two of these.
24.
Okay.
14.
14.
That's the straight roll.
Okay, so we'll say anything that Adria recognizes, Remy will recognize. But Adria, you recognize two sigils on the horizon. One looks to be a wolf, with a over a shield with a wolf imposed over it and an axe in its mouth. You would recognize this as the sigil of House Risbane, one of the lords of Elgrest. And you recognize another lord of Elgrest. You recognize it looks like a picture of a man with no legs atop a horse holding a lance. And you would recognize this as the Strong Mast sigil.
What do I know about the Strong Mast?
Strong Mast, I feel like this is actually up Adria's alley. He's a retired warrior who was promoted to lord based on his service. He used to be in charge of a small fleet before he lost his legs, and he ended up being forced to retire to land. But instead of being okay, I'm just going to sit here, retire, and be a lord, he said, fuck that. And he had essentially riding prosthetics made and became a very renowned horseman. Led a lot of charge against the demons in the chasm during waves, the harder waves during the years, as they ebb and flow, obviously. Older now, but still pretty spry from what you've heard. A halfling, and when he's not in a saddle, he's in a specialized sort of wheelchair. You've never met him personally, I would say, but he retired well before you would have been at the wall, from the chasm, but still a very renowned warrior. Much like Ezra Risbane. Risbane, I feel like you would probably have potentially known about or met. He really only comes down to the chasm if a monster, sort of demon, shows up.
Okay, and name the halfling again.
That would be Lord Galamius Strongmast.
Okay.
If you'd like, I can spell it for you, or I could put it in the chat.
Yes, that would be helpful. Thank you.
I'll just put it in the general for now.
Perfect.
Remy recognizes a few others. There's one that's sort of nondescript, but you recognize it immediately as Sanduuin, which is odd. There's not many ships that would travel this far south from Sanduuin. Nondescript, it doesn't have a house, but you would recognize the filigree would mean that it has to be a merchant lord or lady. From here, with what you're seeing, not able to tell. They're not flying specific sigils or colors. They're a little bit more discreet than that. They're not gonna, be posting their flags out for pirates and stuff like that. But you recognize that there is someone there that potentially is very important. You also would recognize a mast that looks like it's the sigil from the Elgrest Magic Academy. It bears their sigil.
Interesting.
So it looks like there's quite a few walks of life showing up here. There's other masts beginning to appear. None look like they have sigils and stuff like that. Some look like they're just regular ships or nondescript.
Wow. They've invited everyone.
It does seem like quite the to-do. Although if you knew exactly what we were facing, I think you'd understand why.
Do you think they'll know? She'll nod towards the ships.
The fact that they're coming so quickly tells me that they have an inkling.
I believe my friend is going to be among them.
Oh?
The one that you were interested in talking to, Remy. His name is Lalian.
Good. Although, my interest in speaking with him is less, at least now knowing he's associated with these individuals.
Less interest. Why is that? Wouldn't it be more?
It was more out of worry that I wanted to speak with him before.
I see.
Worry that he might not know what he's messing with. I'm a bit more at ease now. Not much, but a bit.
Is there anything you would all like to do?
We get paid.
You did get paid.
Remind me how much each?
I was hoping you would remember that.
I feel like it was like 500 each.
That sounds right.
Is anyone going to correct me on that?
Let's bump it to 800.
Good.
I feel like that's appropriate.
More money.
I thought it was in the thousands.
I thought so too, but I haven't edited the episodes for a hot minute because I've been busy. But
I thought it was a solid like 5,000 just for the whole group.
Oh, there was like a thing. It was like 800 for clearing. It was like 500 for clearing the island, and then like a bonus for something.
I can look back in my notes and see if I wrote it down somewhere.
If you have it, great. If not, then what we can do is we can say it. Let's say 1,000 each.
The witch has employed us for 1,500 gold each and a choice from her treasury to clear an island.
That's right. So let's do 1.5.
Oh, the 5,000 was for killing the barbarian people.
That's right. If you went with that one shitbag who was going to hire you, and then you end up being
Yeah, I remember.
That's how you got here, is by... I mean, I'll tell you, I had not planned any of this encounter at that point. I was flying by the seat of my pants. I didn't think you guys were going to befriend them.
We're very good at that.
Apparently.
I mean, I love it. I love being surprised. It's what makes being a DM actually fun. If everything just went on my rails, it would be very boring. I mean, that's how I feel anyway. Let's see.
How do we want to do the treasury thing?
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. So let's say... Let's say you can all pick a... let's see. What does everyone's attunement look like right now?
I'm fully attuned. I have no slots left. Granted, I probably don't need
check.
Boots of the Winterlands right now.
I have some attunement stuff I could draw
Let's
out, but
say-
I'm pretty well attuned.
I believe we already got stuff from the treasury, though, right?
At the beginning, to help us
Hmm,
clear the island, yeah.
I see.
Did you guys get stuff from her to do that? That might have been what I included as your things. I was like, I thought you guys got
Maybe.
stuff, but I couldn't remember.
I definitely got something from her.
Yeah, that's
I think
right.
I got the
You got
animated shield from
You
her.
got the animated shield from her. That's right. Yep. So you guys did get your thing from her for that. Okay.
As fun as it would be to.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, like that. I was like, let me just check, because I was about to be like, everyone can pick a rare magic item.
I mean, we can.
I mean, we'll think about it. We'll see. You might. I mean, listen, she has a ton of shit. You could negotiate, depending on what happens here, and ask to do more work. So,
True.
but yeah, you begin to hear people working their way up the docks and into the city. And you see quite a menagerie of people. I'd say some you recognize, some you don't. Some, I would say, seem familiar to Remy, but in a way of almost like you saw them in a dream. It's a very familiar feeling.
Would I
Kaius probably met them.
was going to say, would I have any inkling of knowing now that means Kaius probably...
Kaius, you would be like, I feel like I've seen that face before, but it felt like a passing thing, and you would know that would probably be because Kaius at some point met them. But you don't have a way of placing them yourself.
Okay.
It's so confusing.
It's hard to remember who met who because there's been so many character and player changes.
I'd be keeping an eye out for High Seat Taco and
You-
Lalian.
What?
How funny, because you do see both of them. You do actually see both of them. They're walking next to one another and kind of speaking in kind of lower tones.
Okay, I'm sorry. High C Taco?
High Seat Tako, a
Okay.
pale drow elf. You would, I feel like, probably know him. Actually, no, you wouldn't, Remy. You wouldn't actually know him. You wouldn't, I feel like, know anybody that was a high seat in the Sanctuary City. But I would say that Sabine would know him because he initiated you. Adria would also probably know him. This is
Why?
the high seat in Sanctuary City, the one who proposed the initiative.
Ah,
He is the
Is
one.
he the one that gave the speech?
He is, yes.
I do remember.
Yeah,
remember.
Kaius would remember him. So it's another one of those where you're like, I feel like I've seen this guy before, but can't place him. And you do see Lalian, Sabine, next to him. Basically, much paler, an albino elf. He looks like he has a sort of like a parasol situation and a brimmed hat and some small spectacled glasses over his eyes. For the sun.
I will shift into my Furbolg form and run over and yell out to him like, Lalian!
Oh,
Hello!
Hello. I'm glad you're still alive.
Yes. Fancy seeing you here. These are my two compatriots.
Oh, hello.
hell.
Hello.
This is Lalian. He's helped me and my previous crew out quite a bit. We were actually going to try and talk to you back in Glow Hollow, but it never ended up happening.
Oh, well, I'm here now. We have some time before the meeting, so...
I was going to ask, what does the meeting entail?
Well, I'm not entirely sure I can tell you until you're initiated. I'm told that you will be. I'm probably not even supposed to tell you that. But you will be, so it's fine.
Initiated? Yet another organization?
Well, so he looks to Teika, who's next to him, the elf that was your initial, helped you initiate into the peace initiative, who kind of like looks at you and smiles, and he's like, well, you see, the peace initiative is sort of a front.
Oh, good.
Nothing nefarious. It is intended to do what it did, so there was no real lies. But those who can rise above and higher were meant to join this order. For the bigger threats. If you couldn't make it very far in my initiative plan, there wasn't going to be much use for you in what's to come. I was sort of... My plan, my part in this group was to make more allies.
Smart.
Hedging our bets, each of us was a specialist in something. Everyone here is here for a very specific reason. Everyone here has a part to play. And any loss here would be catastrophic.
Good to know.
You being here is great, because that means it bolsters us and kind of pads our stats, so to speak. But there's many people here. Everyone here is... I don't see everybody that's part of the scales, but most that could come. There are some whose work is still too important to pull them away.
Is there a purpose in particular that the organization has for us?
That's sort of not my forte. I'm sure the big three will have an answer to that.
Big three.
So every group, as much as we're all a council, and we all rely on one another and respect one another, and no one's above anyone else, there is still sort of a situation of someone has to be in charge.
Naturally.
So that'd be several people. I am not one of those, so, which I'm fine with. Not something I would want. Let me pull up. That would be... Oh, let's wait till she jumps back in. She's going to jump back in muted, but she'll be able to jump back in and listen. Okay, there she is. So he explains, the three people that are in charge are, that would be Mistress Rayan, whom I believe you've met. The Sea Witch. That would be, Mr. Ewan Baxter from Elgrest. And then, sort of a dark horse, a Mr. Grimaldi.
Grimaldi. Does that name ring a bell?
Roll me a
sounds
history
familiar.
check. It would be familiar to one of you.
30-20.
Can I roll? Would it be familiar to me?
It is not familiar to you.
Ah, okay.
Remy, it sounds so familiar, but it's like It's one of those things you're like, I know Kaius knew this person. I cannot tell you who it is.
I have
It's
a
not
negative history.
I was gonna say, it's not that dude who I gave blood to, is it?
It sure is.
Oh, fuck. That guy was creepy as hell.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if I remember it, can Remy remember it? Or is it one of those
Yeah,
things where she
I'll
needs
say that
to...
I'd say that like because you remembered it, then yeah, you would be like, oh, some memories came flooding back of this weird guy who was like, I'll trade you for blood, and he like took your fucking blood in a weird old apparatus.
Okay, yeah, she'll definitely like, oh, yes, that one is interesting.
I'm sure there's a reason he's part of the three, but I confess to not knowing it, and I also confess to not caring to know. I feel like I have
Yeah.
enough on my plate with my position.
He took some of Caius's blood not too long ago.
I don't know who that is.
No one does. It's okay.
Well, perhaps he might.
If he remembers him, I'll be very surprised.
I mean, I wouldn't be. You'll learn to really not be shocked by the people here. Some of the people here aren't even from here.
That may be why he remembers him if he does.
Possibly.
I did have a letter from him saying he wanted to talk to Caius, though. One of the only things unaltered with Caius's name, so... perhaps.
Well, if he has answers, I'm sure he'll give them, but probably not freely.
Does the cat Kotov have any association with your organization?
He kind of smirks, and he's like, yes and no. There used to be a big four,
Oh.
and his methods were aggressive and unorthodox, and so several members of the group ousted him. I, for one, don't necessarily agree. I think that, given the dangers of what's potentially to come, I think that anything should be on the table.
I see.
Can't be worse than what you're trying to replace.
The group sort of has it in the back of their mind that he is a last resort situation.
I see.
An arc, if you will.
Kind of like a Hail Mary.
Yes. I don't like to think about the outcome of what would happen from that Hail Mary, but better than the alternative.
Is it a bad thing relying on him?
I don't think so, no. He's just a man of extremes.
Hmm.
He gets... Have you ever heard of... There's a spell, an arcane spell. Most people have heard of it. It's the spell Wish. Have you heard of the warnings behind Wish? Wishing for
have.
something but not being clear? It's sort of like that. You're going to get exactly what you ask for. It just may not be in the way you wished it to have occurred. He is a man of means, and he will make what you wish come true, but there's always a cost.
Hmm.
Sounds about right.
And he seems to never be the one to pay it. He's sort of a middleman.
I see.
There's... I don't know, maybe Lalian could explain it, and Lalian kind of is like, well, that's not really his fault, that's just equivalent exchange. And he looks to Remy, I'm sure you understand it, with transmutation and most magic, that you can't do anything without taking from something else.
He'll look at the book, just kind of on her back, and I know it all too well. Sadly.
Just wondering.
He's if he is this kind of person, it's not really his fault. He's just taking advantage of it. So it's sort of like it's sort of aggressive neutrality. I'm sure he gained something from it, but I don't know. I've never met the man myself. I've only recently joined the group, quite by accident.
Somebody mentioned that to me, right? Like,
What?
maybe it was Rhea. Did Rhea say how he joined?
Lolian?
Like, yeah.
He did or stumbled upon something he basically like shouldn't have, and became immaterial to the group.
Ah.
Like something
like
that should
we,
have essentially something that should have fucking killed him, didn't, and they were like, "This might be a person worth keeping."
Seems like we ran into a similar situation.
Oh well, great. I mean, we probably need all the help we can get, to be honest.
Yeah, speaking of which, that meeting, it's happening soon.
Oh, I believe so, within the hour.
Okay.
So if there's anything you'd like to talk about or do, or people you want to mingle with, I'm sure that you could. I'll confess to not knowing anybody here.
I don't mind just hanging out with you two, walking with you guys to wherever we're supposed to go.
Sure.
Do either of you need to do anything here?
Not in particular.
I'd like to stay out of the way, anyways.
Sounds like we're sticking with you.
Sounds great. And they just kind of begin to walk and mingle and just kind of shoot the shit for the most part. It seems like they're kind of making some small talk, and as it comes up, like you do, hear them speak about their father on occasion, which implies that they are in fact related.
Oh, Lollian and Taco?
Uh-huh.
Or Takeo?
Takeo.
No.
No, we're not doing it. It's not.
I keep thinking of.
I did loosely base the name off of Adventure Zone, but no, it's not Taco.
Yeah, I keep thinking about that character.
Say my name. It's Taco.
Oh my god.
I love Taco.
That's an interesting little tidbit.
Oh, most of the actual higher placed elves are related in some form or another. You've never heard about the competition for the seat, the throne?
You told me about it. Like,
yeah, it's a
something
whole deal.
about like all the siblings fighting each other and it being real tense and dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Both Takeo and I have sort of reclaimed. We've given up that right to claim it. Me, because I was branded a traitor because I did something bad, and Takeo because he became a neutral entity in Sanctuary City and fully abdicated.
Out of curiosity, do you still have that guy's stone?
I don't.
Dang.
I don't, unfortunately.
It's alright.
It was sort of given up to get something else. Situation. I wish I could have done more to save your friend and your friends in general, but unfortunately I think they were too far gone.
It's alright. I don't think I would have enjoyed holding on to that anyways.
Well, I did make a trade in that regard, giving up those things, and did get some information. So.
Oh?
Have you ever heard of Agramius?
I don't think I have.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
He's quite the conversationalist. I'm sure you could ask him questions if you'd like.
He's here?
In a manner of speaking.
What answer?
He tried to kill me. Well, kind of.
What?
Don't worry about it.
You hear a
I feel like
voice.
we should be worried
You
about
hear
it.
a voice that sounds quite far away. I'm sure I don't even know you.
Oh, I'm sure you don't, but do.
Thalion's face sort of drops in like exasperation, and he's like, and he opens his bag, and he pulls out. It looks like a jar, like a domed glass jar, and inside of it is a floating head, like a floating skull, with a mage's circlet around the head, and two like stone, like clear stone eyes, like diamonds or quartz.
Demi-Lich?
Yes. So there's sort of a weird thing in my country where it's called the Hall of the Ancients. And people who have vast amounts of knowledge typically are inducted into it. Agramius here was sort of inducted against his will. And so their knowledge can never be lost. And there's special enchantments and things like that keep them sane. They don't require souls, as long as they stay within the dome. He kind of taps the glass, and you could see all kinds of it's very faint. It almost looks like it's lightly scratched. But Remy, I'd say you could very easily see that there are many arcane sigils and symbols on this glass that surrounds this head case.
Okay, yeah, she'll look at his situation, look back to him, and it's a very long story, but you tried to kill one of my friends. Kind of.
When? How?
Yeah.
Who?
His name was Kaius. Don't know if you remember him or not.
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Anyway, he made it into your lab.
Okay, I haven't been in... Which one? Which lab? Where?
Elgrest, right, is where we were?
Uh-huh.
The one in Elgrest in the mountains.
The Highgone Mountains?
Yes, right? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I haven't been there since... What country did you say is there?
I'm sure it doesn't matter.
Well, sorry? You shouldn't have been in my lab.
No, it was probably right to try and kill him.
Well, then I apologize for not succeeding.
He's very hard to kill. Was. Is? State's unknown.
Is the skull floating in liquid, or is it just floating in air?
It's just like kind of like... It's not even like hovering or floating. It's like it's like in stasis in like the air. It's not floating in a liquid that you can tell.
Okay.
Don't like that.
I can tell you that they took a couple of your haints out with them.
That's not good.
Oh, it's very not good. One of them's escaped.
Well, glad I'm dead.
And one of them may also be with an eldritch god. But that's besides the point.
I stand by my previous statement. Seeing that no one really is... It's just like this awkward silence, so Lollian just slowly puts him back in the bag. Hey, what the... You... And he just closes the bag, and you just hear some muffled insults. He's... a lot. It's sort of
See-
why I was excommunicated? Wanted?
Would you steal him?
I did. I wasn't technically not given permission to go into the Hall of Ancients, but I really needed answers. And he was the last person who knew where the door were. And so I needed to ask him some questions, and he was very cagey about answering them. And so we made a bargain that I'd help him get out if he would tell me about stuff. So, yeah.
Did you know that we met one of those?
One of what's?
The gnome people.
Oh, yes. The one on Miss Rayan's ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
His memory was completely wiped. I've interviewed him previously. I tried asking him where he came from. I tried probing his mind. Just a blank slate.
Yeah, he was eccentric, to say the least.
I imagine that I can't imagine his personality changed much, but I can't imagine that helped. There was no anchor mooring who he was to who he is. He knew things, but he didn't know how he knew things. I imagine that's quite maddening.
He's kind of crazy. I think it's kind of crazy.
I met him. Yeah. He had the weird
Kind of
mechanical
an
dog.
understatement.
He wanted to kill things, and he called it playing. It was very strange. It was literally like giving a child big muscles and an axe. No one's gonna have a good time.
Very much so.
Except, I guess.
What was that, Remy?
Said very much so. Although his technology was interesting.
That's sort
I
of the
would've-
most I got out of him is that. It seems like that wherever he came from, he brought that with him, or he was allowed to bring that with him, or he made it after the fact in a stupor before he lost his mind. It's really hard to say, but I have a firm belief I know where the door are now.
I thought they were in the desert.
I believe so too, but not quite. They're somewhere there, but not exactly in the desert. It's hard to explain.
Kind of like a different world kind of thing.
Maybe a different plane of existence, perhaps a different axis. Maybe there, but not. I think that eye of that sandstorm, the Everstorm, I think that's where the key is. I just have to get there.
Okay.
You all begin to walk into one of the bigger buildings. It's a domed building. I would say that Remy would know what this building is after having been here for very long. You would know that this is what was left of the Arcanium. There was nothing really left inside of value. Most things had crumbled to dust if it had been books. But still a very good shell of a building. And the shuffle of these feet lead into a chamber. Like a council chamber almost. A big round room. Looks like the seats kind of like go up, almost like a college, like a lecture hall. Except it's a completely round room. So whoever would be sitting in the center would be completely surrounded. People begin to take seats.
Any idea where we should sit?
I think that it's not really a problem where you sit.
Okay.
I'll sit next
Find
to
a seat with
Lolly.
everyone. Yeah.
You're both sitting next to Lolly, so it's one of on each side.
I'm just near them. I'll sit next to Sabine more so than anything.
I'll just sit kind of wherever next to my friends.
So as everyone begins to sit in this room, you do see a form you recognize, a person you recognize as Rayan. The Ice Witch begins to take the center of the room. Alright. So we have 3 new. I'd like to propose enter the council. They cleared this island of a precursor on their own. I need 3 here that will vouch for them. And if any opposed, state so. Lalian raises his hand. Takeo looks at you all and raises a hand. And then Rayan raises a hand. Alright. 3. No one says a word in opposition.
Well, it's good to know we're not hated.
Rayan looks up to
Creepy
you.
snake shaman steps up and
Rayan looks up to you. Give it time. Rings? You see one of the crewmen from her ship walks up to each of you and it hands you a small box. And inside it looks like there is a small black metal ring. Etched into it looks like it's a set of scales leaning in one direction.
Can Adria put
they-
hers on?
Yeah? Who else is putting theirs on?
She doesn't even think, she just puts it on.
yeah. Sabine will put it on.
What about Remy?
Be smart, Remy.
Kind of look out and... Is there any sort of commitment I'm making putting this on?
You've already made it. If you're committed to stopping your friend and what's coming, then you're already a part of it.
She'll just kind of nod and put it on.
As you put it on, you feel like a buzzing, almost like a vibration, like a phone getting a text message, or like a chair like kind of like skirting the ground. And it happens a couple times, and you look around the room and your attention is drawn to the people in your immediate vicinity. Lalian, Takeo, a person in the corner. Everybody within 30 feet of you, you feel a pull towards. And you're realizing that this ring is marking out people who are nearby. You also see a lot of other little creatures around the room that are fairly stationary but looking at you. Small, maybe about a foot tall, with the little wooden masks, just tiny little black holes in them. Simple carvings or paintings on them.
Creepy.
You know they're not really there. This is the ring of the Leaden Court. While wearing this ring, you can feel the presence of other ring bearers within 30 feet, and you can see Chwingas, or nature spirits.
I love that.
That's cool.
Once a day, you may ask the Chwingas for a small favor. Within reason.
Is this an
Interesting.
item I can find?
It's not.
Okay.
This is an item I made up. It does not require attunement.
Yay.
Like, can they interact with stuff? Can you be like, can you go steal that thing for me?
Potentially. You'll have to dick around with them and find out. See if they're willing to do stuff for you.
Okay.
You said what court?
The Leaden Court. Leaden.
Leaden court. Nature spirits. Okay.
Great.
That's cool.
The Leaden Court is now in session, and our benefactor is here. She kind of turns an upward hand towards the entrance of the room, and you see a very unassuming man.
Oh,
And
wait
very
a minute.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I thought I was muted. I was like trying to remember. We've heard about these guys before, the Court of Leaden Scales, right?
No. I think I may have told you about them in like a lore thing I was building, but I don't think I mentioned them here.
Oh, I have them listed.
Oh, maybe you did hear about them. The Court of Leaden Scales. Maybe I mentioned them in like maybe you saw or read a thing about them or something like that you caught wind of.
In my notes, I have Court of Leaden Scales, aka Moonwatch.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that little info from, but that is like a little tidbit that I had sprinkled somewhere in the world. Little whispers of it. You could have found them in other ways.
Okay. Yeah, I have Lawrence. Maybe I shouldn't be reading these off then if I shouldn't know this.
No, if they're in your notes, then go for it.
I have Lawrence, Luxol, Ezra Risbane, Lolian, Fendel, Renegade, and Heiko.
You see all of these individuals here.
Nice.
So somehow you got that info. I can't remember where you got it, but that sounds all legitimate. So you do see those individuals here. But as she says that, that she's going to turn the floor over to the benefactor, you see an unassuming man. 5'10", 5'11", maybe. Black, sort of like almost waxed mustache. He's wearing some odd clothing. Looks like a vest over a button-up shirt. He has some sort of chain in his front pocket. A very rounded, almost bowler cap. Pants tucked into mid-calf laced boots. And some sort of waistband. With a piece of oddly shaped something that looks like it's made of metal and wood sticking out of it. It's like an oblong, almost L shape. But you're not really sure what it is. Walks down. All right. Court's in session. You three. He points to you, Remy, Sabine, and Adria. It's your first time here. I'm Mr. Pepper. What do you know about DOG?
Isn't he my god?
I don't know. You tell me who your god is. He was the god of a roving band of mercenaries.
I thought he was one that I picked. Let me go back to my notes.
Is that supposed to mean something or represent something? Or do you mean actual dogs?
So let's see here.
Did I roll a knowledge of religion?
Sure.
Is he like a common, or is this like a? Like
You could
something?
roll. Yeah, you could roll. It's not going to be a super high deal.
Oh hell yeah! 27. I rolled 19. I rolled really good.
Okay, so you would know. DOG is. He is sort of this. He's a god that's not fully accepted in like the main pantheon. But it's short for Diogenes. He is a protector god, also known as the watchful wolf god.
I did pick him.
You did? Okay, great. Then yeah, yeah. So you would know all of this then. Some believe that he is subservient to another goddess, the Night Shrike, similar to the god Jedlik. It's believed that she's a god that was trapped in the Shadowfell, or a god who was part of it.
Then, as a
Regardless,
response,
Yeah.
to him, he's the source of my power.
Well, I'm gonna burst your bubble here. Because Diogenes is not a he. Diogenes is an it.
I see.
It's an acronym. DIOG. The Defensive Interplanetary Orbital Guardian. That moon, he does like air quotes, that new moon, that means it's starting to kick on. And that ain't good. Not for anybody that lives on this planet anyway.
It as in it's a thing? Or it as in like it's not a guy or a girl?
It's not a guy or a girl, it's sort of between a thing and a god.
Hmm.
What?
Curious.
My question is, what is a god? What makes a god? Could a person become a god? Can a thing become a god? Above my pay grade.
Yeah, those are some big questions.
This planet is in my sector of protection, so that's why I'm here. To give you a fighting chance at stopping it from activating. If that fifth moon activates, you're all done.
What do you mean by activate?
Shows up, appears.
Okay.
Everyone here, and I assume you three, are familiar with Halatash.
Too much, yes.
We've been trying to stop him for a while, and we did. Here, on this world. But we set something up that if he ever started to break out, we could keep him here. Unfortunately, that comes at the expense of all the life here on this planet. This life here on this planet's a drop in the bucket compared to what he's gonna keep doing.
Just a quick question. Could I get a recap of this Halatash guy?
You want the quick notes version?
Sure. I mean, if we have the time, I not the quick notes, the long notes, if we have the time.
I mean, sure. I mean, I know basically the broad strokes for the most part. He's sort of an evil entity, god, or being. Hard to say, don't know where he came from, just came from out of nowhere, feels like. But well before my time, he was a world eater. There's lots of theories that he brings them into his own system. That all the planets he's eaten are fine. The more common theory, the one we operate by, is that they're assimilated into his reality, and everything not necessary is discarded.
What did Remy see on the other side?
Everything was just a vast library, and you saw the things that operated within it, but there was nothing else. It was just a library, and you were there for a long time.
Okay, then it's a library.
Yeah, we've got reports of that. That's why we believe that everything not necessary is digitized, destroyed, expelled. obviously, most people like being people and not books. So you can see how we'd want to stop all that. Like that. So, came up with that system.
So you guys made Diogenes.
The group I work for does, yes.
Hmm.
This court here is your planet's sort of society that's been given the bigger picture.
And if I'm to understand correctly, Diogenes' job is to protect us from Halatash. But if Diogenes activates, we die.
Diogenes' job is to protect everyone from Halatash. It's sort of a greater good situation. There's a lot of life on this planet, but there's a ton of other planets out there. Diogenes probably gives, and he points to Adria. You said Diogenes gives you power. We believe that Diogenes has become a god, or godlike.
I see.
Hmm.
That's where I decided to step in and help create this court. Because if he's a god now, if he's sentient, that creates a problem. If he loves this world more than he cares about others, he may not do his job when the time comes.
Oh.
If that time comes. So now we're racing against the clock.
Interesting.
4,000 years ago, 2 moons. 5,000 years before that, there was 1. Now there's 4. There's only 1 more.
What triggers the moons?
There's some
Any-
piece of Halatash's seal that's here on this planet. If it gets into Halatash's possession, he helps use it to form the key to his seal. And that's when the moons activate. There's one more piece of his seal out there, one more key. And he's out. And whether Diogenes sacrifices this world to save the others, or abandons others to save this world, or fights Halatash himself, can't say. Can't say I like any of those outcomes. So your job, this council's job, is to find that seal and stop it from happening.
Halatash have any snake-based iconography connected to them?
Iconography?
Iconography, yeah. That's the word.
Not that I'm aware, no.
Okay.
He
Good
is
to know.
worshipped by snake people.
I'm sure he's worshipped by a lot of people.
Oh.
Most of the people that worship him are probably in plain sight. Much like Diogenes, his worship's taken on sort of its own life.
Is there a way to reverse the moons?
My people are working on that.
Would it help to know how they came about?
We know how they came about. We made them.
I mean, how they were activated.
We know how they are. We know how they're assimilated. The friend of yours, or I should say your former employer that hired you to go after Rayan's men, got a hold of him. He talked.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, between screams, he believed that he was going to be chosen and foisted above others. In Halatash's realm, they're a cult. They're of the belief that Halatash is inevitable. He's immortal, so it's only a matter of time before his keys are all found and given to him. They figure if they can rush that process along, all the better for them.
Oh, they made a religion out of it.
Don't they always?
That's not good. Zealots are always frustrating.
Do you know what specifically, like the specific circumstances of how the latest moon showed up?
Your friend there can probably give a better answer to that, and he points her at me.
Oh, really?
Yes, sadly. It was Kaius.
It's probably not good.
How long has your friend been there?
In the book,
Yeah,
few days.
surprised he's lasted that long.
He's hard to kill.
That's the thing, though. Is Halatash doesn't kill you, he does something worse.
Oh, I'm well aware.
I'm told that you were in the book, but you were a sacrifice.
Quite a long time, yes.
It fed off of you. The reason that you're still here is because of your big brain. And I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. He literally feeds off of your energy. The smarter you are, the longer you last.
I certainly wouldn't last long.
Big brain energy.
I'd be dust in seconds. But regardless, everything that you know, you should assume Halatash knows now, because he had you.
I'm hoping that's not continuing with this conversation.
It shouldn't. As long as you're not writing in that book anything important.
No, only to communicate to Kaius when I need to.
I'd recommend stopping that.
I haven't done it in a while. But so far he's been helping from the other side.
Now, I imagine he wants to right whatever wrongs he caused. But regardless, he caused them.
I would very much like to get him out.
I'll be honest with you. I'd very much like him to stay where he's at. And there's only one way to get him out that we're aware of.
Okay, she'll kind of perk up. And what?
Someone else has to go in. It's a 1-for-1 swap. How did you end up in it? E put you there.
He'll pause and he
Think
just
back.
won.
Think back to when you first found that book. Your mind's probably a muddle about it, but think. You were both given a deal, weren't you? An
Yes.
unthinkable deal. And he jumped on it and threw you to the wolves. That's why you went in and he didn't.
It's a difficult deal to pass up.
No, it's not.
What? So all we gotta do is just throw some schmuck in there, and that's how we get him out? One for one?
I wouldn't torment anyone with that kind of hell. Even
Even
my
that
worst
one
enemy
dude?
at this point.
What about that one dude who wants to go in there?
It has to be valuable to him, though. It's
Oh.
gotta be. It has to be more valuable than who's in there currently.
Trust me, Kaius might have took shortcuts, but he wasn't stupid either.
That's why he's in there now. He became more valuable in the book than out. You want my advice? Is get rid of that book. Give it to me, I'll take it. I'll get rid of it.
I sort of need it.
In what way?
Spells. And if I'm being honest,
I can fix that. That's not a problem.
I still have hope I can get Kaius out.
He kind of sighs. He looks at you for a bit and then sighs.
I'm not trying to rain on your parade or burst your bubble, but you can't. Not without sacrificing somebody else to go in.
Just because we don't know of a way yet doesn't mean it's impossible.
My question is how long do you think he's gonna last? He's on a much quicker clock than we are. Halatash knows everything he knew before the book. So anything that he knows between the deal and when he went in is all he has to bargain with. Or he's either destroyed or assimilated.
He's not dumb. He can last.
I guess you'll see.
And he walks up to you and hands you like it's like a small like a small wooden, it's almost wood. It's like this weird material. It's like smooth and cool to the touch, but fairly thin. It looks like there's like some metal like pieces like striations in it, like go from the top to the bottom.
When you're ready to get rid of that book, just snap this in half, and I'll find you. Because you're going to want to get rid of it as soon as possible.
He'll nod, but just kind of nod.
Well, everyone here knows the stakes. I'm gonna head back and report what I know now to my superiors. And I'll be back in a few days to hear what you've all decided.
Now hold on. Is there like something we need to do? There's not a lot of future action plotted down so far.
It's not my call to make. There's only so much I can do to interfere. The big choices have to be yours, or you'll never be invited in.
Alright.
This, as dark as it is sort of your proving ground. As a planet. There's a big world out there. I wish you the best of luck.
pulls out that thing on the metal chain from his pocket. Looks like a pocket watch. Opens it. You see a blue glow hit his face from the watch. He closes it. Be seeing you. He walks out.
Hmm? Huh?
Alright. Rayan takes the floor again. Alright. Suggestions? Miss Reminculus? You seem to have the most intimate knowledge on this being here.
If you're asking me how to kill it, I don't know.
Any insights at all? Could we
It's like-
put someone in that could do damage?
It's like you said, you'd have to have a really good trade for who's already in there.
But could that person do anything if they're in there?
I tried for a very long time to get my way out, to do damage, to do anything. Nothing I tried worked. But it's as close as you'll ever get.
Let's call that plan C. She kind of pinches her brow between her fingers. Right. I think we need to have several teams working on different plans. Magus Gribble, Grimaldi, Master Baxter. You come up with a way to make us not on this plane. I'll help with your group. Maybe if this planet isn't here, if he breaks out. That's something. Now we need a group looking for the last piece. Morris, Fendel, Strongmast, Luxol. You'll be on that. Lolian, Dromos, Belinda, Declane. You'll look for the door. Teiko, keep doing what you're doing. You three. Looks to you, Adria, Remy, and Sabine. Be honest. You're sort of wild cards. If you have a plan or a suggestion of what you'd like to be doing or think might need to be done, suggest it. Otherwise, pick a group to help.
These keys have just been lying around, right?
Yes.
Like,
Essentially, they're like hidden or around the world as far as you're aware. The one that was found was in a temple on an island, the Isle of Beasts, south of the mainland, and was found quite by accident.
wouldn't it, I don't know. Wouldn't it be safer to, like, just find the key, give it to Mr. Pepper, and just have him take it wherever he goes? If it's not here, it can't be used.
He can't take it off. He says off-world.
It only delays. So that would be prudent, which is why we have a team looking for it. But we have to find it.
I mean, I don't know what you two think, but helping to find it seems like a pretty good option to me in terms of direct action.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Alright? If you'd like to help
What's
us.
what's this door that you were talking about?
The door, the gnomes,
Oh, the door, the gnomes.
the
Okay.
peoples. They've managed to keep themselves hidden from the entire world for centuries. You've met my man on my ship, as crazed as he is. His mind, as broken as it is still sharp as a tack. Imagine what his people, if they're found, what kind of assistance they could provide.
That's fair.
We're hedging all our bets on many different plans. Putting our best feet forward where they might strike the most luck. You three are wild cards. Like I said, I think you'd be beneficial to any number of these ventures. Which is why I'm giving you discretion to pick who you'd help.
So Morris, Vendel, Strongmast, and Luxol are looking for the final key. Lalian, Declane, and Drenda?
Lalian, Lalian, Declane, Belinda, and Dromos are essentially looking for the door.
Got it. And Tako's just doing something on his own.
Tako's continuing the initiative, essentially.
Okay. Cool. Was there a fourth group that they were doing something about like shifting the planet?
Yes, that was the first group. That would be Magus Gribble, Ewan Baxter, and Magus Gribble, Ewan Baxter, and Grimaldi, as well as Rayan, are essentially going to try to use some sort of their knowledge of magic to potentially shift the planet or do something to protect the planet itself.
I see.
Well,
Or you could
I don't
take your
think I
own
can help.
path.
Any thoughts, Remy? You're the most intimately connected to this of the three of us. What do you think is best?
So far, the keys of where it have been really driving this forward. I think if we can secure it, that would probably be the best option.
That makes most sense to me too.
Where do you suggest we start?
Hard to say.
Can be on any of the planes connected to this world. Vendel is going to the Upside Down. Morris is going to stay here. Luxor's going to the Inside Out. Master Isbrain is going to provide whatever help he can on any of the three, as he's connections to all three.
When Kaius took his last test, it was said that whatever was at the end was going to give him the ability to find the last one. And it seems that it was a ship. So it must be off at least this plane.
Alright.
Do I remember anything? Like, did Kaius see anything about where the next one would be? Usually he got visions.
He usually got visions, but the second that he finished that trial, he basically like betrayed his ideals or his pact and got ripped into the book.
That's right.
So there was not enough time for him to receive a vision.
Yes, I remember now.
Going through all my old notes.
Seeing if there's anything tasty.
The ship could mean anything. I'll tell my sisters to keep an eye out on the seas. Perhaps we'll go north and south. I'll go east.
Did we told her about our friends that got lost, right?
Which ones?
Nud and them.
Mm-hmm.
Remy, well then, were you able to locate our lost allies?
Aye, they're fine.
That's good.
Seems they're guests of the Sealy court. Your naked cat friend seems to be in high spirits there, and seems to be held in great esteem. So,
That sounds about right.
for now, he's fine.
And yes, I think the only thing left to do is join the crew looking for the crystal key.
They're splitting
Crystal?
up, so
That's typically what it's been.
It's been a crystal. Okay.
it's typically green, light green. It grows. It's a sickening pale green.
So it
And if we find it, we should bring it where?
You should bring it back here to this island.
yeah, what's the protocol for handling these things? How do we avoid accidentally triggering it?
There's no trigger unless you give it to Halatash. Which is why I'll be honest with you, Mr. Minculus. I think if you're going to be seeking out this stone, you need to give that book to Mr. Pepper. I don't want you and that book anywhere near that stone. That's asking for trouble.
Going to be honest, a lot of my current abilities are tied to this book. I would need a good replacement.
That won't be a problem. I'll talk to Mr. Pepper. He'll be back in a couple days. We'll come up with a solution that you'll find amicable. But if I send you off to look for that stone with that book in your hand, it'd be no better than putting a bottle in a drunk's hand and telling him not to drink.
That bad, huh?
I wouldn't blame you, but it has a pull. It promises things. Your friend fell for it. Other people fell for it. There are people in this world currently who are falling for it. You have the last key, and I can't. Listen, I like you, but I don't really know you. I'm not going to put the fate of this entire world in your hands because you need that book.
It does seem smarter to keep them separate. Perhaps we could find a different way for your magic.
Mr. Pepper will have a way.
If he has a way, then I suppose so.
I'll reach out to him after the meeting here. For now, I think court is adjourned. Feel free to converse amongst yourselves.
All right.
Thank you.
So you.
Now, are you allergic to your new dog?
I have no idea.
You are sneezing a lot.
Yeah, sorry. I can mute if it's
No,
annoying.
you're fine. I'm like, man, she is sneezing a lot. I wonder if she's allergic to something.
Yeah, I've been allergies, man. It's been bad.
I am very fortunate to not have been cursed with allergies.
So Morris is staying here. Fendel is going to the upside down. Luxil is going to the inside out. Esther's Risbane is doing all three. What is Strongmast doing?
Strongmast is essentially going to be, he'd be here as well on the main plane.
Okay. Got it.
The people that are on the main plane will also probably, you'd hear like that, like you see all the groups get together. There is some kind of like coordination. It's not all eggs are in each basket. Like, so the people that are on this plane will still help one another. So like, so Delmar and Strongmast that are going to be on this plane will be still helping Takeo and helping his efforts with the initiatives. There's even talk that they're going to set up a third initiative run.
I see.
They speak about there are several people that they think they might be willing to bring into the next meeting, into the next council meeting. There's a group of people that they think that could potentially hack it.
Okay. What do you two think about at least starting off by going and talking to Fendel and Luxil, and kind of seeing why they're going where they're going? Maybe they know more.
It would be good to sync with them.
You know, what their hunches are. Are either of those people, like Fendel, Luxil, Risbane, Morris, and Strongmast, do we see them in here?
I would say that you do see Luxol, Strongmass, and Morris Delmar speaking, but Fendel is basically like walking to the door. Like he's leaving currently.
I'm gonna catch up to him. I'm gonna
I'll
run
follow.
after him. And what does Fendel look like again? Does he have?
He has like a sort of like a half face mask. He's wearing like it's a very tattered, like green. It's like foliage. It's like fake foliage, and like
Oh.
it's like sewn together. It's like netting sewn over like a dark, deep purple like cloak. He looks like he has a bow. A lot of knives like on his waistband and his legs. Very scarred like face that is visible. He just kind of looks to you and raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, I'll just approach him and be like, it seemed like you were leaving, and my friends and I were thinking about assisting in trying to find the final key. But we're maybe having some trouble figuring out who to help. I was wondering if you could tell us a little more about why you're going to the Upside Down.
Well, I know it well. It's easy to traverse for me. I don't think that you would be able to. He looks to all three of you. I don't think you'd be able to move in the way I would need to move. You might be, points to you, Sabine. You probably could do it. You're a forest dweller.
I am.
You understand silence is a necessity. And he points to you, Adria, and kind of like pokes your armor. You value defense, which there's nothing wrong with given your line of work.
No, that's fair. I am not a quiet individual.
You'd have to ditch that, and you'd have needed some serious training.
Yeah, no, thank you.
You're not gonna cut your way through the Upside Down.
Any reason you think the key is there specifically, or is this more of a we're just shotgunning out into a bunch of different places?
More the latter.
Okay.
The best bet for finding it if it's down there. And so that's why
Okay.
I'm going there, is that's where I'm best served. I'm not a smart man. I'm not magic. I'm quiet. And I'm a tracker. So I'm just doing my part.
Okay. So you would prefer to not have our help, actually, from what it sounds like.
He kind of pauses. I don't want to deny the help. If you feel that you can do it, I'm not gonna reject it. But if something happens and I have to leave you behind, that's a possibility you have to understand. I plan on going to the lodge and seeing if I can indoctrinate some people there to help. There are some there I trust, and some there I don't. So regardless, I'm getting help.
Let's go get Hot Boy.
Do you say that?
No.
Oh, this is one of the like fireman calendar guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one you're talking to technically is. He didn't want to be, but he is.
Oh my god.
Also, guys, at some point, we need to go to the Drain Lads because I owe Ilya.
That's near the lodge, right?
It's on the way if you cut through Krissune. It's in between Krissune and Elgrest.
Okay. That's good to know. Well, unless any of my compatriots have anything to ask you, maybe we should go talk to all the other people, and we'll let you know.
Good luck. I'm leaving within the next hour or so.
Okay.
To be fair, I don't think we're gonna go with him.
He nods and takes his leave.
See. What do you think, Adria? Which group do you think we should approach next? Is there one that either of you are interested in going to?
I would prefer something that I could use my skill for.
So, I'll approach Luxol next. If Sabine's taking the lead on this.
Yeah, then you see Luxol speaking with Delmar, who you don't really know anything about, as well as Ezra Risbane is there. Just kind of sitting kind of back and listening to those two really hash it out.
If we just listen for a second, what are they talking about?
For the most part, I don't really want to do the voices for both because I feel like I've been talking
Oh, no
quite a bit.
worries.
But Luxol's basically talking about going to the Upside Down, which is essentially the Feywild.
Okay.
The Inside Out where Fendel was going is essentially like the Underdark.
Okay.
Luxol essentially is saying, that it's better for him to go alone. He doesn't really feel like Ezra is going to be a conducive presence there. Ezra's not exactly a people person. Luxol has an in with the Sealy Court. The newcomers that are there, i.e. Knud, he's met before. He knows that he could touch base with them and get help from them if he's over there. So Morris is really like, well, what can you leave me here on the material that I can use to help in my search other than Risbane, who's really only good at monster murdering.
We could probably stay with him then and help.
True.
So like, and Ezra's kind of like not refuting that. Like Ezra's sitting there like, yep, I kill monsters. That's accurate. Morris is very. He's being a bit like cagey about getting the help.
Sabine's going to kind of insert herself into that conversation. So, I hear you might need some help, or you want some help?
Yes, on the material plane, that'd be lovely.
We're trying to figure out what our next move is too. We wanna help find the next key. It didn't seem like Fendel needed much help. Luxol just stated that they'd prefer to work alone. What are your plans?
Mine, I plan on spreading some coin and having my network look around for a glowing green rock, I guess. It's not great. I imagine I'm going to get a lot of idiots bringing me gemstones, but it doesn't seem like there's much else choice. I've hit up a couple museums with rarities. I haven't seen anything there that's of this ilk. I have some fingers in some pies in Krissune, looking at their historical artifacts, not getting much luck.
So you think this thing might have already been found and it's just gathering dust in some collectors?
It's possible,
Collection?
and that's sort of my area of expertise. I'm in acquisitions here. And I deal with acquisitions of civilized folk. If it's in the wilds, in some dung heap, I'm not going to find it.
You don't think there's a specific type of monster that might be attracted to it?
Ezra kind of shifts. According to Mr. Risbane, these things are quite deadly if you get in close proximity to them.
The crystals?
Yes. How he knows that, he hasn't said, but apparently the longer you handle it, the sicker you get. Bleeding from orifices, wasting away, that sort of a situation.
Okay. I didn't even think that it might have been already found and somebody's just storing it somewhere. That makes a lot of sense.
It's the only lead I have, and it's the only expertise I have. So that's where I'm going to focus my efforts.
Hmm.
If it can be found there, then I will find it. If it's elsewhere, then I wouldn't have much luck anyway.
If we were to help you, what would you have us do? Just spread
Oh,
coin, like you were saying?
no offense, but none of you look like thieves to me.
No, I am not.
Then I'll be honest with you. If I was going to have you do anything, it would be casing places. Getting
Oh.
close
Casing?
with casing. Sizing a place up. Seeing if you rub elbows with anybody. Using any connections you might have with important persons. Getting close to others. Plucking those strings and finding this thing.
And is Strongmast helping him
Um,
with this? Or is
essen-
Strongmast doing something
essentially.
else?
Strawmass is essentially, he's sort of in between Ezra and this guy. Like, he has a distaste for this guy because he's clearly like a criminal.
Hmm.
But he's also like, I'm a man of means and I have money and I understand the stakes of this. So I'll work with this dude and help him make these connections. And essentially, Strongmast is here because he has an in with most of the important people in Elgrest. Or has a way of using his name to get into speaking with important people in Elgrest because his name carries weight. So Delmar seems to be utilizing that aspect of Elgrest.
Okay.
And just as a reference, Delmar is a shaved head, kind of like olive-toned human man.
Full name Morris Delmar?
Morris Delmar.
Okay. Sabine will gesture to Ezra. And what's your deal? Are you just here to help them out if they need you?
I'm any group that needs help. If something needs to die, I'll fight it. I have a very limited scope. I'm not as familiar with the way this world works as others. Full disclosure, I did find one of the keys previously. I brought it down to the Isle of Beasts. You could see how that turned out.
Oh.
I lost a lot of men bringing it down there. Many of them died on the way down. I got very sick, and I am someone who is blessed or cursed, depending on how you want to view it, with good constitution and hardiness. Met a gentleman down there. Agreed to guard it. Agreed to have his predecessors guard it. So on, so forth. So
Where'd you originally find that thing?
I found it. The school in Elgrest was founded upon ruins that they believe are intersecting on ley lines. I found it within those ruins, and I removed it. A short few decades after I removed it is when some wizards began building the school there after finding it amicable to them. I stayed nearby to keep an eye on them due to some mistrust I have of the kind.
Okay.
And ended up staying there long enough to, I guess, become a lord.
Okay. Well,
I hunt monsters and I guess I have what you'd call Plan D.
just kill the thing? Is that your plan?
Something, I guess, kind of like that. It's a gamble, but I have something that might help.
What's
What
that?
is it?
He looks like he's struggling to find the right words. I wasn't born here. I was put here.
Meaning?
Like you're from a different world?
Something like that. I was at a low point. I was a warrior. I don't want to brag, but I was even something of a hero where I was from. I'd done it all, and when I thought I had finished, I was called here by a young man who, in a desperate attempt for power or assistance, don't know, didn't get to speak to him very long, did something that brought me here. He had an item on his person that brought me here. And he shortly expired afterwards using that item due to the nature of it. That I
Oh
am
my
in
God.
possession of it.
What?
You know what it is, don't you?
Yeah, this sounds very familiar.
So that's Plan D. I still have that young man's item in my possession. I know vaguely how it works. I've seen similar in my world. I know how dangerous it is. I have used it twice since being here. Once I was lucky, and once not so much. So it's Plan D. If all else fails and I still stand, I'll use it. But I've got no guarantee. It's a gamble.
Well, good to hear. Well, I guess we'll talk around and we'll be seeing you. Is there a way to contact you if we need you?
He puts a hand to one of his breast pockets and then goes to a side pocket and I could give you, I guess I could give you one of my sigils, my rings. You could write me a letter, I guess. I don't really have a way of you have magical means of contacting me, feel free, but I don't really have anything other than I can give you a seal that would get you, you know, get a letter to me expediently.
Sure, why not? Never know if it might be useful.
He hands it to you.
Okay.
It's a ring out of his pocket, and it has his sigil on it. The shield with a wolf on the front, holding like it's like a bearded axe in its mouth. It looks like the same one that he carries on his side.
Okay. Well, think Sabine will move away a little bit from all the people. What are y'all's thoughts? Kind of seems like they all kind of have their own things going.
So far, I'd say I'd like the sound of Ezra's.
Ezra's
There's
plan?
something I could roll. I don't want to metagame though. Like to see
To
if Remy
know-
would know what that item is that he's talking about.
If you know what it is, what's Remy's intelligence score? Is it 20?
Yeah.
If you know what it is, you can say it, and if it's right, you know what it is.
I think it's a
won't
deck of many things.
You might be right.
Oh no. Oh no.
It sounded very familiar to what happened to oh shit, I forgot his name.
Yeah, but the guy that Haven summoned, that he was on a dying world, and as he fought to the last man, he was yanked.
Oh,
Similar to that
no.
guy.
All right.
So yes, you would know that that's what he's probably. You have a good inkling that that's what he's referring to.
Okay, we just have to jump
Okay.
Ezra and take the deck now.
No.
All the
so
cards.
Remy's
We're
like,
not dealing with that.
You could also just talk to him, because I will use Ezra's stats. Do you, Sabine, think you could take Ezra?
Absolutely not.
We got to what level did we get to in Ben's campaign? Was it 20?
It might have been 20. I didn't participate in the last few sessions, but I remember something. It
He
being
is-
a very high level for you
He
guys.
is very high level. If you're feeling froggy, you can absolutely jump.
so she'll be like, if he's talking about what I think he's talking about, then we want nothing to do with it.
Kind of taps it. He like from the far, like the corner of the room, taps his nose and points at you, Remy.
Yeah. No thanks.
Plan D. No one's feeling froggy for the deck, huh?
No. Absolutely not.
Disappointing.
I already have a character with a deck of many things.
That's true.
I don't want another one.
So disappointing. I told you that somewhere in the world a deck of many things exists. It's always been with Ezra, because that is how he got here.
That's fine. I have a baby deck of many things.
Everything here is static. So there is a finite place where this seal could be. Like I know where it's at. Like it exists in a place.
If only Sabine was 2 levels higher.
One day. But will that be too late?
Perhaps. If she gets to level 11, she'll know scrying.
Yeah, I mean,
And then she'll...
it's a possibility that you could try that.
Well, honestly, we could always go our own way, but I'm kind of stumped of where we would go. This is not my this isn't my forte. I'm not really associated with any of this. Do you have any idea where it would be for me?
Not for sure, no. Kaius would have been the one to know that.
I suppose we could try our own contacts, see if we find anything before we decide where to go with this organization.
I could dig a deeper hole with Ilya.
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah. He still hasn't asked me for a favor.
Well, he's asked me for one we should probably do at some point soon,
Right.
which might be a good place to start.
Okay.
I'm gonna start by asking the demon man.
No,
What?
I want to start by completing a favor for the demon man, so when the favor is done, he might be in a good mood and give us more information.
Yes, because that's how that usually works out.
Well, do you have any better leads?
The deafening silence. I just imagine Remy seething.
Pretty much.
All right, then that's my vote.
Going and doing your favor and seeing what comes of it.
Seeing if Ilya knows anything.
Yeah.
He seems to be annoyingly knowledgeable of things that he shouldn't know about.
Aiko did say that he's supposed to be the last resort.
Let's see what this last resort has to say then.
Okay.
He certainly would
Yeah,
have to
that's
have an
fair.
opinion.
I'm gonna give Fendel a thumbs down from across the room.
Oh, Fendel Renegade, he left. He's like fully gone. You give a thumbs
He's like
down.
not waiting for you at
like,
all.
You turn to give a thumbs down, and he's like straight up not there. He left a hot minute ago.
Damn.
He told you that he would be like getting ready to leave, like the island in a couple hours, and left.
Fair
Actually, the more
enough.
important question is how the hell are we going to get off this damn island?
Oh. I
As
didn't think of
you
that.
say that, like the group of wizards was leaving. The one of them, a pudgy, what are the flat nosed cats? Like the flat nosed, like kind of like grumpy looking, like rich lady cats. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks.
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you guys need help getting off the island?"
Oh god, it's that guy.
It is.
We do! Thank you!
I could send you if you'd like.
She'll kind of like elbow Remy.
You have a preference?
Oh god.
Drainland, please.
Well, but there's like the whole continent. There's even the continent to the south.
Is the Drainland a continent?
Well, the Drainlands is not a continent; it's a swamp on the continent.
Well, the Drainland.
I don't have any circles of the Drainlands.
Oh my god, okay. Do
I
you
guess
have any
there-
circles in Krissune?
Well, hold on.
What about
What's the
Elgrest?
closest one to the Drainlands?
I got one in
Krissune.
I got one in Plautos.
Okay, Plautos is fine.
I got one in Krissune, but it's not near the Drainlands. It's in the capital.
Oh yeah,
It's
we
a
don't need to go
secret
there.
one, so you'd have to be super careful.
Plautos is super close to the Drainlands. I
Yeah,
walked
it's
through
like
there
right-
on the way
like-
to Sanctuary City.
Yeah, it's like right next to it.
Yeah, we'll be. I can't take this seriously. That works. That's great. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, sure. If you come to the building that I'm staying in, I'll make you a circulator. Tonight, a couple hours.
Okay.
I said, do you need to go like right now?
Well, I
I mean,
suppose
if
not.
it's super important, I'll just meet up with these guys later if it's really important.
This guy is silly.
Uh,
You're,
well-
you're silly. I'm just a
I
little
mean,
guy.
It's
Do
no
we need to talk
rush.
to any?
What's up?
It's no rush.
Okay. Yeah, a couple hours. There's not that many people here, so I'll find you guys. I'll be in the center of square when I'm ready.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
I like him.
I love doing that voice so much. It's like one of my favorite ones to do.
That fucking guy.
I think
Yeah.
he's an NPC we should pick up forever.
Okay. I want that deck of many things, though.
Oh god! Can you imagine fighting this
God.
like?
He sounds super sweet and shit. He's here with all these super dangerous people.
No,
like-
like that's what I mean. Like I imagine you like, or not you, but like going into a fight with him and being like, "Oh god, this fucking nerd," and then he just, then he just destroys you. Like,
Yeah, he. Want to know something really fucked up? I did make for him a long time ago. Like y'all fucked with him. Is he's a master of teleportation? He has a custom spell that he could teleport your insides to the outsides.
ew!
Oh god.
Yeah, he will inside out you. Yeah. Oh yeah, how you like this?
Oh god.
Now your guts are out. You dubby.
Okay.
Is that
no,
how
no,
he
we
would
don't-
sound if you were fighting him?
Probably.
Yeah. 100%. That's what you get. We're picking with me. Magus Gribble.
Oh jeez.
Fuck around
Grib.
to find out.
Fucking, oh, his name was Gribble.
Yep.
Because I remember we were making fun of him because of fucking Dale Gribble.
Rip in peace. Pocket sand. Shasha.
Pocket sand.
Oh my god.
Pocket sand.
Shasha.
Favorite character from that show.
Oh,
What
funny.
would you all like
Okay,
to do?
well, I guess we have some time to kill while we wait for this circle. Anyone else you want to talk to before we leave?
I mean, I kind of want to familiarize myself with like the majority of these people.
I would say if you'd like to mingle with the people still in the room, you could find out a little bit about each of them. They're all very open to speaking with you. You're all part of the same sort of secret Save the World club. So no one's gonna be like, I don't know you, fuck you, nerd, get out of here.
Is there a signal, by the way, that we give people outside? Like when we see someone or see the ring, are we
No,
like,
you like buzz, and like it's not like they glow, but you're drawn to them. Like you're looking. It's almost like when you feel like someone's looking at you, and you turn around and you can see the person looking at you. You're drawn to that person. So when you look at someone else who's wearing the ring, you know that they are part of the group.
When
oh,
you
that's
said
cool.
buzz, all I could imagine was like we're a phone, like
That's exactly like a fucking notification, like a Discord notification. You look at it. I see you.
I see you.
I smell you.
Ew, don't make that no.
It's me, Morgan Freeman.
I've watched that video. I know what you're referencing.
Oh yeah, Sea Nanners. I can
Yeah,
smell
I
you.
love that.
I downloaded like the 1 hour compilation of it as like a movie because it's so fucking funny.
which one?
It's a guy named Sea Nanners. He plays video games, and there's a guy that he plays with that does the best impressions I've heard from somebody. He does like a spot on Morgan Freeman. He does like a good Joker. He does Mickey Mouse.
I think
To be fair, those are 3 easy ones.
I think I've kind of heard
Gonna kill
that
you.
one. Have you guys ever seen? It's like True Facts About Animals.
No.
Oh my god, there's someone that does. It's called True Facts About. And it's like True Facts About Sloths, True Facts About Octopus, and they do it in Morgan Freeman's voice. And it's fucking amazing. Like they do. I can't even describe how amazing it is. Like when they're talking about the sloths, they're like, sloths in Morgan Freeman's voice. They're like, sloths have like claws that are 6 inches long, which would be terrifying if the rest of the world slowed way the fuck down.
But the world is not slow, and so you're safe. But yeah, it's really good. Scanners 1 hour. See if I can find it really quick. It's like a compilation. Here it is. Hunted by Morgan Freeman. Oh, it's the hidden. I need to find like the hidden.
It is.
I've got an in-game question for you whenever you
Go for it.
are ready, by the way. Just
go ahead.
random shot in the dark, now that I know that you do stuff like this. Are there any Weaver weapons around? On the we're in like a room of like super powerful people. Like does she see that any of that in here?
Roll me I'd say roll me a perception check.
Sure. I can do that. We'll do that at regular. Okay, come on. Come on. That's a 22.
You do see one.
Oh, motherfucker.
It is at. You see three,
I see
But they're-
3?
but they're all on one person.
Oh, fuck.
You see
Okay.
them on Ewan Baxter.
Ewan Baxter?
He was part of the group that was the mage group with like Gribble, Magus Gribble.
Oh, they're the ones like trying to figure out how to like plane shift the planet or something.
Correct. You see he has one at his side that's it looks like a black like basketed rapier. And then you see two more, and his doesn't have, even though he has 3 of them, his doesn't have any stones in it that you can see. And you see 2 more, but they're just the broken hilts of 2 other swords, and they're at his other side.
He thinks this
Okay.
man hunts these people.
Oh, you're fucking on it tonight.
Me?
No, Lavere.
Oh.
Fucking just guessing all my plot twists left and right.
Fuck it, I'm gonna walk up to him.
Kind of just
That's not
looks
the
at
best
you.
idea.
He can't do anything to me. We're part of the same group now.
Oh, that doesn't mean he can't
She's-
do anything to you.
She said with great hubris, moments before disaster.
We're friends. We have the special club rings.
Yes, can I help you?
Honestly, I'm just kind of. I don't know why I'm approaching you. Well, I do. I don't know the reason. And I'm not really one to beat around the bush. I noticed that you have some of the Weaver's weapons on you.
Oh, you recognize these, and he kind of holds his hands up, like
Uh-huh.
almost like he puts his elbows up high and like kind of like looks at them like he's wading in water almost. That kind of like, oh, look at these, look at here. Like, yes, I have a couple of them. I've taken them from some foolhardy children.
I was actually gonna ask because I've never seen somebody have more than one, and usually they have the little pommel stones in them, but yours don't.
They've assimilated them. Yes, I've chosen not to do so.
So I'm assuming you're not with Weaver.
Yes and no. It was sort of a begrudging partnership that we started together, and then I realized more and more about Weaver and decided to work against him. So the power I have is mine, he can't take it away. He sent 2 agents at me to move on from me, and has since realized that that's foolish, and I haven't seen one since, so...
I'm kind of feeling the same way, but unfortunately I had mine taken from me rather than the other way around.
Then you should count yourself fortunate.
What's his deal?
He's trying to
I know he
create-
wants to make like a super powerful guy, but why?
He wants to create the perfect weapon. And by weapon, I mean person, not the
Okay.
actual thing. He would fold your soul into a weapon once you were done.
Okay.
So, the fact that you lost yours and lived is the luckiest you could have been.
Mm. God, how I'm trying to decide how.
So you used to be a warlock.
Still am, but
Oh, you made another deal then.
yes. but
Anyone I know?
no longer with Weaver. I would try to lie, but I'm really bad at that.
Is it not one of the approved patrons of the schools?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you don't have to share if you don't want. I'm not going to pry. It's your
I
business.
think it's best if I don't keep things from this group.
Sure, listen, it's
No
as long as
secrets.
it's not Halatash, it's not necessarily a problem.
Remy shrinks slightly.
It's
kinda-
Ilya.
He fucking like tilts his head past Sabine and his eyes are just like opened, like not wide in shock, but wide in like a you motherfucker.
She'll put hands up and be like, I'm a wizard.
Are you wholly a wizard, miss?
Yep. Well, mostly. Yes. It's a long story.
Do you have any direct ties to magics to Halatash as we speak? And please be honest. This is not going to cause you reprimand. This is for safety.
She'll hold up the book.
He kind of like pinches his brow. How much power do you draw from his presence?
Currently, the only thing I summon from the book is Kaius. I've been using him as my manifest mind.
He looks to Rayan, who's like, I'll contact Dr. Pepper now. Or Mr. Pepper now. And she like fucking leaves. We'll handle it.
Uh-oh.
That book has to go.
Hey, you could always strike a deal with my patron.
And who's that? Sorry, we were interrupted by shenanigans.
It's Ilya Kotov.
He
My
fucking
understanding.
laughs
Really?
so
Is
hard
your patron?
he laughs so hard he fucking coughs. Good luck with that.
I have so many questions for you.
Why did you laugh?
I mean,
Is it a good laugh or a bad laugh?
you've met him, right?
I mean, yeah, he's eccentric.
That's a word. Your word, not mine. But that's a word.
He seems nice so far.
Sure.
How does he seem nice?
Well, you have all your
more
limbs.
generous than is necessary to me.
He's
How long
nice.
have you been with him?
He's eccentric, but he has his own machinations. All patrons do. He is sort of off the cuff, that one, though.
I don't think I've been with him long. Maybe. When did I meet up with you guys? A few weeks ago? A
God,
month?
is that all it's been?
Yeah. Since then, I formed a pact with him right before I met you guys.
You remember how I killed that spider?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was because of Ilya.
Oh.
I mean, well,
Like
I did it, but he restored my magical strength that was drained, so I could.
That was nice of him. Oh wait, yeah, he required that favor of you. I see.
But you trust him?
I mean, he's been more than generous with me. At least it seems so. He's nice. I don't know whether it's because he's nice because he wants I'm useful to him, or he wants something out of me, or if he's just being nice to be nice. But
Oh, he wants something from you.
let's just say I lost a bet with him, and he let me win anyways.
I can guarantee you a couple things. He wants something from you. 2, he will get it. And 3, you may not be aware of when he takes it. That's not always nefarious, and you may lose something you didn't even know you had. But he will get his half of the deal. There's a reason he is not an approved patron at my school.
Oh. Are you the person to determine the approved patrons?
Well, between me and Magus Gribble here, then we have a lot of sway. We're the two of the top professors at the school. Yes.
Why don't you like him?
I don't dislike the man. I just don't necessarily care for him. He has other things on his mind, whereas we're all here trying to stop the end of the world. He just chalks it up to he can move on to a new one.
Could he?
He has.
I mean, he already did.
Yeah, this isn't his original world. He's a devil on vacation, as he likes to put it.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you've spoken with him for any length of time, but he'll tell you freely his brother is watching over his duties on his plane of existence.
Oh, that's not smart.
While he gallivants around, yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He got bored enough that he was like, nah, I'll let my bro handle it.
Fucking rage pit down there right now.
Yep. He's like, fuck it. Nope.
A random
Interesting.
question. How many of the Weaver's weapons are out there? You seem to know more about him than I do. Like, what's the likelihood I would run into someone with one again?
It really depends. I had 2 come after me, so I'm not exactly a great barometer. When I was young and foolhardy, I sought them out and didn't really find one. I found other means first. It's hard to say, but it's in the end, it doesn't really matter how many there are. That it's as long as you don't have one, it's not a problem for you. It's children playing single stick, not knowing that they're serving to simply feed this other being. And this isn't the first cycle. This weapon he holds up, like he points to, kind of like motions to his weapon, the rapier. This was a person at one point.
I'm sorry?
The gems are their souls. Every time you defeat one and integrate a weapon, it takes the soul of that weapon and folds it into a new one. Which is why when you receive 3, he reforges it into a more powerful series of weapons. I believe he's on his probably 2nd or 3rd set or series.
Dark.
He's looking for something called and I've done extensive research into this. Obviously, I used to be part of it. It's called the Final Shape. He's looking for a weapon that is perfect in every way, shape, and form. A weapon to end all weapons, which he'll never find. But he'll grind up as many foolish souls that seek power as he can.
I was mostly asking because I want another one just to spite him.
Well, I can give you the broken hilt of one of these and you can have it reforged, knowing that it is the soul of another being. I have no problem doing so. It would have to be reforged. It would take a very skilled forge master to do so. The
You can
soul is still
reforge
intact.
them?
Yes, the soul is still intact in these. I broke them in such a way to make it so. I wouldn't break these and hurt the poor, unfortunate, misguided fool who it was.
What about this one? And I'll pull mine out.
You see like the fucking cat sigil in it like look at you and roll its eye. I don't think that's a weaver weapon.
No. And oh, sorry, wrong one. And I'll pull out the broken weaver weapon I have on me.
He looks at it and tilts his head. Well, the soul is no longer intact in that one. It was. Were you defeated by another weaver holder?
Yeah.
The soul of your sword is with that person now, in theirs.
Should we be
So
worried
you would be
about
willing
this
to
person?
give me one of those?
No, I don't think you need to be worried about this person. It's
Don't we have bigger worries?
It's an endless cycle that, as long as you're not caught up in the game, it won't be a problem for you. It's small potatoes to Halatash. This person isn't even a minor god. They reside within the Shadowfell somewhere. Beyond that, the Weaver is a smith. He is not a fighter. He has fighters to do his work for him.
So if you gave me that thing, you would send more people after me?
I wouldn't send anybody after you, but he might. They still have souls intact. The reason I don't believe anyone's come after me, even though I hold 3 souls, is because I managed to have held 3 souls. And not given the weapons up. Eventually someone will come for me. That I have no doubt. But they'll wait until they believe I'm weak or infirm.
And you don't really care about him? Like you're not like luring more to you, like you don't care
No,
if it goes down.
no, I just simply don't want them to go out to someone else to continue the cycle. So any that I can get, I sort of slow that process down.
Can you free the souls?
They don't know who they were anymore, so no. These souls that are in these are a mixture of other people. They're not singular anymore. Like I said, once you have enough of them and forge them into a weapon, it becomes a singular soul again. So it's renewed. It's born anew. None of these souls in these weapons are individuals anymore.
So if I took one of those from you, it would maybe compromise our mission. Like people would come after us.
Potentially. But if you could find a use for it towards our greater goal, then I wouldn't be opposed to giving you one. Just be aware of the risk that it would impose upon you.
It's a selfish, spiteful thing. I don't want it. I don't know. I would take great
sentiment.
pleasure in disrupting the game, but from a selfish point of view.
Know that I already do so, but I understand the sentiment. Weaver is singularly minded, so even if you did so to spite him, I don't believe he has the capacity to care. I don't believe he cares about anything other than making the final shape.
I see.
All I can think of is Dragon Ball Z. This isn't even my final form.
I'm actually pulling from Destiny. The darkness.
which wants to form something called the final shape. But
This
in
final
case, it
shape
is a
thing,
weapon.
it couldn't help us out, right? Against Halatash? Is it too small potatoes for that?
It doesn't exist. It's an ideal.
Oh.
It's a pipe dream that he's chasing. He's, like I said, singularly focused. He wants to create the most perfect weapon. And to be fair, the weapons are powerful. They grant him a lot of power. The souls feed him, and the souls feed his pact. But in the end, they're fueled by souls, and souls are not infinite. They are finite.
Maybe I would approach you about it after this is all over. But I don't think I could take one in good conscience and jeopardize.
I'd be more than happy once everything is settled with this business to discuss potentially dealing with Weaver.
All right then. Well, it was good to talk to you. It was that I feel like I had some closure from that, knowing
Good,
knowing
I'm
what
glad.
everything was up, what that all was.
We should probably get you to Pepper and then get headed out.
Yeah.
Well, I say that to Remy, and then
Yeah. She looks at the book.
Are you actually
Yeah.
going to give that up? You've had that ever since I met you. It kind of seems like it's connected to your friend.
You feel the book wiggling. There's something inside it doing something.
ew.
She's smarter than that. It's already trying. They're right, I need to give it up.
And you'd give up your friend in the process?
Saying that aloud and not opening the book, the cover of the book, where the skin is, begins to cut open, slightly bleeding. And in words that you can see in halfling, because that's what you and Kaius were, it says, "Don't let me go."
Oh,
You can't. Don't you dare. I will never forgive you. You will pay. And it just keeps going on, and it gets more and more aggressive.
At first, she would be sad. But then she would definitely, almost get upset. That's not how Kaius used to talk to her. Kind of get, a resolve about her, and she'll hand it to Adria.
As you hand it to Adria, you see one last line form on the book. One last sentence in halfling. It was supposed to be you.
Yeah, she'll hand it to Adria.
okay. Adria
Here.
will surprised grab it, and what am I supposed to do with it?
It no longer shakes in your hands, Adria. It stops. It completely goes dead.
To answer the question, Remy says, not much. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I still think we should leave it with this Pepper person.
I agree, but you hold on to it for now.
All right, I can do that for you. Let's go find him.
You're gonna need something else, right? That book was the source of your power.
Luckily, I can replicate my spells fairly quickly. It's one of the perks of my chosen school of expertise.
Okay.
But I have no idea what the mind would be, if not Kaius.
This council chamber has mostly emptied. There's a couple stragglers, but for the most part, these groups have left to go discuss their plans elsewhere or enact them elsewhere. As you lot leave and begin heading back to the main city proper, such as it is, you do see Rayan speaking with Mr. Pepper. They turn to look to you.
Right. That was quick. You
It
really
was sort
killed
of
that book.
decided for me.
Where is it?
I'll look
Oh.
at Adria.
Yeah, I'll pull it out and say, first, you said you could help my friend keep the magic.
He looks at the book and sees all the writing on it, and looks to you, Remy.
Sorry, kid. Wish I wasn't right. Your friend's a prick. And he's where he belongs.
It's not Kaius.
Yeah,
Not what he used to be, anyway.
hell, we're never who we used to be. We are what we are. And that's what he is now. Alright, hand it here.
He takes out, it looks like it's like stone, but on one side of it, it's like this black glass. And he puts the book on top of it, and you see a bright blue light come from it. As it like goes, this light kind of like, it's almost like it scans the book. And
Alright.
he takes the book off, holding it in one hand, and he hands you this stone and glass tablet.
That should work. You seem smart. You figure this out. It's your new spellbook.
Yeah, she'll kind of raise an eye at it and look at both sides. And
As you touch it, the glass lights up with runes. Your spellbook is essentially a fucking iPad.
awesome.
It's like a Sheikah slate from like Legend of Zelda or an iPad. Do you have games on your phone? Gribble walks by. Do you've got games on that?
Oh my god.
He doesn't, but that'd be great.
You want some?
Do you have any games on your phone? Can I play Flappy Bird?
Alright, she'll, trying to try it out. Try and do like the summon mind of it. Oh my god, do I have a theory now?
Do you have a... I mean, basically.
Hells yes.
So you summon mind, manifest mind. Would you like me to give you one, or do you want to make your own?
I'm imagining... Have you ever seen those, what are they called? Those, like... It's kind of like a gyroscope. Seen like a gyroscope?
Yeah.
Kind of like that, like multiple different, like, concentric circles kind of like spinning inside each other, with like a little light in the center, and then like as it like talks or something, it like just kind of like glows, you know, like as the words speak.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's no longer Kaius.
Okay, she'll look at it and it'll do. She kind of swallows her emotions.
Oh.
Oh,
Adriel put a hand on her shoulder.
Mr. Pepper nods. You'll be alright. He takes the book and heads off to the direction of the docks.
Well, so we have a circle to get where we're going. What about getting back?
good question.
If there's a circle here and someone has access to the spell that I could put into my book, I can use a circle.
There was an archmage here at one point, right?
Well, the person
He-
creating it, I'm sure, would be able to, right?
If I could look at Gribble's book, copy his spell for a
This was-
teleportation circle.
This was once a great city. I can't imagine that there isn't one here somewhere. Made by the previous archmage. At least there'd be a good chance, right?
There's definitely a chance. Guess we should find Gribble.
Well, we said we could meet him in the square.
Mm-hmm.
Is that information we could find? Like, find out if there is a circle here?
You mean like in like just the city?
Yeah.
I would say over the days you've been here, you haven't found one. But you could certainly inquire to anybody who might know. But most people just got here.
Okay.
Is there like any obvious like mage's tower? Because we fought. I don't know if this is meta knowledge, but I know we fought the archmage of this place. That he was one of the zombie fungus dudes, or zombie ribbon guys. Is there any obviously like mage tower-esque place here that he might have resided in?
So the place where you guys had your meeting was within like the Arcanium, was what it was called, and it was ancient, and there was nothing in there that was like a mage's like teleportation circle.
Got it.
But this was a precursor dwarf race,
Oh,
so it could be that their magic may not have been as advanced as it is now.
yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, as far as what you've heard from I would say Remy would be the one who would have been looking through this place, trying to find past knowledge and things like that. There wasn't much left.
Okay. Then yeah, I'd still like to get that spell from him if he has it, but
Yeah, absolutely. You do see him in the square. You guys ready?
yes.
Yeah.
Could I, if you had an extra scroll of teleportation circle,
Well, I could whip one up for you.
that would be
Not a-
wonderful.
That's
I'd
not a
ve-
problem.
I'd very much like to have that spell.
For sure. It's pretty handy. You could use. I carved it. The circle here. I had my underlings carve it. So
You could write this circle down and you'd be able to come back here.
Wonderful.
It's sort of the reason that I carved it, is so that we could all come back here. If we need to meet again, we don't have to travel by ship that sucked.
This guy.
She'll look to her new little buddy and be like, scan it.
Like a fucking Simon says, bloop bloop bloop. It like lights up a bunch and it does scan it. You can write that down for its cost and everything like that.
Bitchin'.
Whatever that does cost you. Being a scribe, it takes you like half the time and like half cost and stuff like that anyway, so I feel like this is a good way to do that thematically.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
You guys ready to go?
Indeed.
Okay.
So,
Okay, you guys say all your goodbyes and you don't need anything else here?
mm-mm.
Okie dokie. Step into the circle.
I'll step in.
Yeah, I'll step into.
Step in.
You all standing there and he touches a foot to it. Alright. Later, taters.